Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Dr. Maushmi Das. I'm currently an ENT resident, and in this video, I'm going to be covering the last topic on the anatomy of pharynx, which is going to be about the drainage of pharynx. Now, under drainage, I'll mostly be talking about the blood supply, the lymphatic drainage, and the nerve supply of pharynx. And in the previous videos, I have covered about the basics of pharynx, which is the location, the extent, the structure of the pharyngeal wall. I've spoken about all the parts of pharynx in details. I've also spoken about the Walde's ring. If you want to watch any of those videos, you can head over there from the link that I've added in the description below. Now let's head over to a class now.
So let's start with our last topic on anatomy of pharynx, which is the drainage of pharynx. So under this, I'll be talking about the blood supply of pharynx, the lymphatic drainage, and the nerve supply of pharynx. So the first thing I am starting with is the blood supply. So when we talk about blood supply, we always talk about in terms of the arterial supply and the venous drainage. So first, in arterial supply, you will see that pharynx has actually got a very rich vascular supply, and it has got all the supply from branches of the external carotid artery. Now, what are these branches? There are 5 branches in total. The first branch is the ascending pharyngeal artery. This branch arises from the medial ECA, which is basically the external carotid artery. It passes superiorly, giving branches to the pharynx, mostly the superior part of the pharynx. Also, a palatine branch arises from this ascending pharyngeal artery, which passes over the edge of the superior constrictor to supply the soft palate, the internal pharynx, as well as the eustachian tube. Next, the second artery is the tonsillar artery. The tonsillar artery is a branch of the facial artery. Next, the third is the ascending palatine branch of the facial artery. Fourth is the superior laryngeal artery, which is a branch of the superior thyroid artery, which in turn is a branch of the external carotid artery. And the last one is the inferior laryngeal artery. Now, inferior laryngeal artery is a branch of the inferior thyroid artery, which in itself is a branch of the thyrocervical trunk of the subclavian artery. So, these are the 5 arterial supply of the pharynx. Next, we head over to the venous drainage. Now, when we come to venous drainage, we will see it is via this internal submucosal and external pharyngeal venous plexus, which sits predominantly on the posterior aspect of the middle constrictor. As you know, before in my video on the muscles of pharynx, I have spoken to you about that middle constrictor is one of the circular muscles of the pharynx. So, on the posterior aspect of this muscle lies the external pharyngeal venous plexus, and all internally lies in the submucosal plane. Now, these two venous plexus, they drain into the internal jugular vein, and to an extent they also connect with the pterygoid venous plexus. You will see that this venous plexus is actually a very common cause for bleeding in operations involving the pharynx, and it can be very difficult to control. So if you see in this picture, you will see in arterial supply, this ascending pharyngeal artery coming from the external carotid artery is one of the branches. The tonsillar branch coming from the facial artery is another branch. The inferior thyroid artery giving off to the inferior laryngeal artery is another branch. So other than that, there are 2 other branches which is not visible in this picture, which is the superior laryngeal artery. And you can also see there is ascending palatine artery over here. And as you see in this case, all the veins, they ultimately drain into the internal jugular vein over here. And some part of it has connection with the pterygoid venous plexus. As you can see over here, this is the pterygoid venous plexus. Some of it has some connection with this plexus. Next, we head over to the lymphatic drainage of pharynx. Now, this lymphatic drainage is very complex due to the length of the structure, and this also has a very rich lymphatic supply. Why is this so important now? This is important because in malignant diseases, metastatic spread is very common because of this lymphatic drainage. therefore we can see that lymphatic spread will be one of the most common spreads in these kind of malignancies. So for nasopharynx, the first we have to talk about nasopharynx lymphatic drainage. It drains into the retropharyngeal lymph nodes and the deep cervical lymph nodes. Now the retropharyngeal lymph nodes, it has a very big importance here. There is a carcinoma which is known as a nasopharyngeal carcinoma. In this carcinoma, the first lymph node to be draining this is the retropharyngeal lymph nodes. This is a very important lymph node. It is also known as the node of Rouvier. Now this is the first drainage for the nasopharyngeal cancer, whereas the most common drainage is the level 2 lymph nodes, which is involved in about 70% cases. Other than that, level 3 is involved in 45% cases, level 4 in 11% cases, and level 5 in 27% cases. Next, in oropharynx, the lymphatic vessels, they pierce through the superior constrictor muscle, and after that they drain into the deep cervical lymph nodes, especially in this case the jugulodigastric or the tonsillar node, which can be palpated 1 centimeter below and behind the angle of the mandible. They can also drain into the level 2 and the level 3 lymph nodes, although drainage to these levels without affecting the upper nodes is actually pretty uncommon. Lastly, for the hypopharynx, all the levels of deep cervical nodes, that is the level 2, 3, 4 are involved, but most commonly level 3 is involved. If you see in this picture, you will see the retropharyngeal lymph nodes, which is the drainage of the nasopharynx, the first lymph nodes to be draining the nasopharynx, and then eventually from there it goes to all the deep cervical lymph nodes, the level 2, level 3 and level 4. You will see the most common one for laryngopharynx is the level 3, whereas for oropharynx it is the jugulodigastric or the tonsillar node. Lastly, let's discuss about the nerve supply of pharynx. Now, the motor and the majority of sensory supply to both pharynx and the soft palate comes from a plexus which is known as the pharyngeal plexus. This is basically a meshwork of interconnecting nerves on the posterolateral surface of pharynx. And now what are the branches which are communicating with each other to form this plexus? These are the pharyngeal branches of the vagus nerve, the pharyngeal branches of the glossopharyngeal nerve, and the sympathetic branches of the superior cervical ganglion. So all these three branches, they connect together to form this pharyngeal plexus on the posterolateral surface of pharynx. Now once these nerves have formed this plexus, they exit the plexus and either descend or ascend on the external surface of the pharyngeal constrictors, in particularly over the middle constrictor muscle. And they will supply the deeper layers of the pharyngeal wall, which is the muscles and the mucosal surfaces. So when we talk specifically about the motor fibers and the sensory fibers. Now the motor fibers, they originate in the cranial root of the accessory nerve. These are carried by the pharyngeal branch of vagus nerve to supply all the pharyngeal muscles. If you remember, all the pharyngeal muscles, I have spoken about it in my last video. The three circular muscles, which are the superior constrictor, the middle constrictor and the inferior constrictor muscles, and the three longitudinal muscles, which are the stylopharyngeus, the salpingopharyngeus and the palatopharyngeus. So this branch, this pharyngeal plexus, it is supplying all of these muscles except for stylopharyngeus. Now stylopharyngeus gets a supply from the 9th cranial nerve, which is the glossopharyngeal nerve. So these fibers, the pharyngeal plexus fibers, the motor fibers, they travel between the internal and the external carotid artery, and they enter at the level of the superior margin of the middle constrictor, and it joins up with the 12th cranial nerve, which is the hypoglossal nerve, close to where it curves around the occipital artery. And also cricothyroid receives innervation from the external and the recurrent laryngeal nerve. Lastly, the sensory fibers. Now the sensory fibers, they predominantly originate from the glossopharyngeal nerve and supplying the majority of the oropharynx. Whereas when you come to laryngopharynx, the vallecula is supplied by the internal laryngeal nerve and the lesser palatine nerve, which is a branch of the second part of the fifth cranial nerve, which is basically the maxillary division of the trigeminal nerve. The part of the nasopharynx is supplied also by this maxillary branch of the trigeminal nerve via the pterygopalatine ganglion. And as I was already telling you about the internal laryngeal nerve, it also helps in carrying the sensation within the larynx. Now, the sensory supply of palate is formed from the branches of pterygopalatine ganglion, which is the greater and the lesser palatine nerves. Now, you see in this picture, the most important one is the glossopharyngeal nerve, as you can see over here. Whereas the other branches which are important are the superior laryngeal nerve and the internal laryngeal nerve. Now this ends our topic on the anatomy of pharynx. So far I have covered about the location, the extent of pharynx, the structures of the pharyngeal wall. Next I described about the nasopharynx, oropharynx, laryngopharynx, all of its boundaries, the importance of these structures, the clinical importance. Next I spoke about the Walde's ring and all of its components. And lastly, in my last video I covered the muscles of pharynx. Now this video covering the drainage of pharynx ends the whole topic. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you find my video useful and take something away from it. If you have liked my video, kindly press on the like button and share with your friends, and also subscribe to my channel. Guys, I need more subscribers. The more subscribers I get, the better videos I'll be able to make. So kindly please subscribe to my channel. See you in my next video.